should you suffer intense back injury from your automobile accident, it would be advisable to employ the service of an auto accident lawyer. While on your road to rehabilitation, it would benefit you to be free of anxieties and emotional stress. At this time there is a high possibility that fighting for your injury claims could certainly put a strain on your health. A spinal cord injury will cost you a lot of money. There are various types of back traumas that you can obtain from your automobile accident. An anterior cord syndrome results from injury to the motor and sensory pathways in the anterior parts of the spinal cord. Most of these patients can feel some types of crude sensation via the undamaged pathways in the posterior area of the spinal cord, but movement and more precise sensation are lost. Central cord syndrome typically results from trauma and is connected with problems with the bigger neural fibers that carry information from the cerebral cortex towards the spinal cord. Signs or symptoms may include paralysis and/or loss of specific control of actions in the arms and hands, with far less problems of leg motions. Sensory loss below the area of the spinal cord injury and loss of urinary control could also take place, with the overall amount and kind of functional damage associated with the seriousness of damage to the nerves of the spinal cord. Brown-Séquard syndrome is an uncommon spinal disorder that is the result of injuries to one section of the spinal cord. In most cases it is caused by an injury to the spine in the region of the neck or back. Often, some type of puncture wound in the neck or perhaps in the back that impairs the spine could be the trigger. Movements plus some kinds of sensation are lost below the level of injury on the damaged area. Pain and temperature sensation are lost on the side of one's body opposite the injury because these pathways cross to the opposite side shortly after they enter the spinal cord. Moreover, injuries to a specific nerve root might occur possibly on their own or jointly along with a spinal cord injury. Mainly because each nerve root supplies motor and sensory functionality to a different part of the body, the warning signs produced by this injury depend upon the pattern of distribution of the specific nerve root concerned. The typical program is when your lawsuit is unsuccessful, your auto accident lawyer will not be compensated. Claiming compensation as a direct consequence of a car accident claim commonly involves no service fees to the individual bringing the claim. This is called a contingency fee. Contingency fees are mostly traditional in accident claim situations since the sufferer usually won't have funds to pay up front. The lawyer will take care of all the expenses of trial, as well as witnesses, court expenses, etc., and will simply take around 30% of any winnings. On the other hand, as the attorney or lawyer will not make money if you don't derive, contingency fee lawyers or attorneys in many cases are rather selective about the lawsuits they undertake.